Adam Evanschwartz with Rockwell Collins. You introduced today a brand new way for pilots to interact with the ProLine Fusion primary flight display, and it's all about the touch.
The theory here is touch what you want to change. You're touching right on the flight display. ProLine Fusion is unique in the marketplace because we offer head-up displays across the board, as well as an interface that's concentrated on the primary displays and lets the pilots not only keep their eyes on the PFD and MFD when they're flying in instruments, but also use hand-eye coordination to operate the system, program the flight plan by interacting directly with the map, and configuring the displays with the information management content that they need to operate safely in the airspace.
So Adam, take us through some of the features that are on this new system.
Sure. First of all, in terms of flying head up and eyes forward, we'll show you the PFD and how you configure information on the primary flight display. And the theory is this: touch what you want to change. It's that simple. So I have, for a demo aid, I can show you the areas that are touchable, but after just about a half hour of flying with most pilots, that's completely unnecessary. And so what I'll do is start by touching in the center of the display. This gets me to my configuration and lets me split the display into two parts. And that's one of the features of this display, both the primary display and the multifunction display, is you can divide it and set up information based on your phase of flight and the situational awareness that you need. In this case, I've gone to a map presentation here on the right-hand side of the pilot's PFD. Now, to configure what information is displayed on here, I use a icon touchscreen drag and drop setup. So I've touched here to bring up this window. This window right here on the left-hand side represents this part of the display. I can have a map like it's showing now. I can drag and drop to show you there's a chart. Move a chart in there. I have icons to select between charts that are programmed for the flight plan, origin, destination, alternate, and so forth. And I can divide this whole portion of the display into two equal parts for those situations where I, say, want to have a map and checklist. And this is fully checklist capable, normal, abnormal, emergency. The checklists are linked to the crew alerting system so that when you have a abnormal or emergency situation, you get that crew alerting message. The checklists are preset for you so that as a pilot, your only action is pull it up and start executing, make sure everything's done.
Avidyne is the brand of choice for pilots who want innovative, easy-to-use avionics. And the new IFD 540 GPS Navcom sets a new standard for simplicity in communication and LPV navigation. As a slide-in replacement for existing 530 series navigators, and with a highly intuitive touchscreen control, the IFD 540 makes it much easier to access the information you want when you want it, reducing head-down time and making flying more enjoyable. Finally, you have a choice, and the choice is easy. Avidyne.
So very flexible in the way you lay out information. We can show synoptic displays. I'll drag and drop to pull up a system synoptic so you can analyze and keep track of your electrical system, hydraulics, whatever the airplane has and the OEM has selected synoptics for. You can look at and manage head up, eyes forward with a very simple icon-based interface. And part of the benefit of being able to divide the display into windows like this is that you can operate in different phases of flight. Say a taxi configuration, you may have a flight control synoptic for your flight control check where you rotate the yoke left and right, check that the surfaces are moving properly. You can operate through those phases of flight with the information you need without touching it and really controlling the avionics system a lot, because I can have a synoptic here, checklist here, and my PFD right there, and they're very configurable. So I have if you're flying an approach at night and want to pull up an enhanced vision system view right on the primary display to complement the synthetic vision on the ADI. As a supplement to the head-up display, you can do that as well. Perhaps in a two-pilot crew, pilot monitoring would watch synthetic vision on their primary display. That's the primary display in a nutshell. If we move over here to the multifunction display, the big deal with either display, but from a navigation perspective, is graphical map interactivity. And what that allows you to do for programming your navigation, your flight management system, all of your interactivity you accomplish by looking at the map and interacting with the map itself, rather than another device, a menu-driven device that's typically head down in the pedestal like a CDU in some of our earlier generation systems. So I have here a flight plan. You can see you can pan and zoom on the map just like you're familiar with from consumer devices and interfaces. And to edit the flight plan, you do that by locating the waypoint that's of interest to edit. So find it, touch it, and then if I want to delete that because I'm cleared direct to the next one, I can just delete. I get a proposed flight plan change, that dotted line. Execute, and I'll press a little firmer there. Execute, deletes that and completes that operation. So if you're flying into busy airspace and you get a crossing clearance, as you often do in a jet, whether you're flying as a crew in a Global Express or you're an owner flying your own light business jet, clear it across Clara intersection at 18,000 feet, 250 knots, find it on the map, select crossing, and you're given a dialog box there that lets you confirm that the defaults 18,250 are correct for that approach or change them. And that programs as soon as you execute that, programs the flight management system so the airplane flies that approach automatically or that arrival.
Welcome to the Aero-News Network, the aviation world's most comprehensive news and information resource. Real-time 24/7 online audio and video programming, where aviation has been getting updated for over a decade. Distributing over 11,000 stories, features, audio, and video programs every year. Only ANN covers aviation and aerospace with this much depth, insight, and expertise. Check us out on the web at aero-news.net.
So on the PFD, we're touching what you want to change. On the multifunction display, graphical map interactivity is key and makes flying much, much simpler, so you can just focus on flying, pick it up, and learn how to use it right away, really with no training is a bonus. It's not an absolute. And you can divide the multifunction display just like the primary. So two halves. On a chart there. We have for those who are accustomed to a traditional flight management system interface, we're giving them access to that capability, but still making it more simple for those who don't have as much background. So you'll see icons, verbs spelled out in plain English, like set up your flight, plan your flight, calculate performance. So the system's capable of calculating V-speeds based on all of the factors, environmental, aircraft, how your flaps are set, and giving you those V-speeds right on the PFD. And the way you're accessing all of that is in plain English, touching, icons, the flyer flight plan, you click fly. So when you're not interacting with the FMS by the graphical map capability, that's how you're doing it. And you can divide, for people flying, perhaps it's a crew, you can divide the screen into two parts and have as many as 4 windows up on the center display, a map, checklist, map of the continental United States in this case, to follow strategic weather patterns as well as a synoptic display. So.
And weather also overlays on top?
Weather overlays on the map, weather either from the weather radar on board the aircraft. One of the distinguishing features of ProLine Fusion is our multi-scan weather radar, which is completely automatic and hands-off. Multi-scan has flown for thousands upon thousands of hours in the airline environment. Airline pilots have come to understand and trust that when you have multi-scan, there's nothing else you need to do except turn the radar on. ProLine Fusion offers that capability and lets you overlay it as a pilot right on the map itself, as opposed to dedicated weather radar presentation or page. You can just put it on the map. If you're going to reroute around a storm, there's no more estimation of what heading do I need or what course do I need. You find it on the map, it overlays your flight plan. This one's not in the way of our flight plan, but just to show you how it would work, I'll click reroute. And you can build a path right around the storm. Maybe we're doing weather exploration here and we're going to go out and check that storm out. Execute, and that proposed flight plan change becomes what the airplane is going to fly. So overlaying weather, you can overlay live weather from the front of the airplane, completely automatic with multi-scan. You can overlay XM or data link weather if you're flying outside of the U.S. Put that in the primary display as well. A lot of folks appreciate that about ProLine systems. You can overlay weather radar information right on the horizontal situation indicator. That's a continuing in ProLine Fusion. We're adding to that with even more ways to look at strategic weather and plan the most efficient flight around them.
Adam Evanschwartz, thanks very much for talking with us today.
Thanks. We'll see you.